Getting ready here for the World Series. All right, Jimmy. Let's see. I'm going to do a fridge check here. I got the Red Bull, got the Gatorade, and Dunkin's. Got that in there too. Oh, let's see. Have you got your gear there, Jimmy?
Let's see. I got my cap, I got my team towel, my jersey, and here's my kazoo.
Ooh, that sounds awful. Have you got the clicker?
Oh, yeah.
Good. Go ahead and turn on the game there, Jimmy. Let's see. I got my Good Luck Braves COVID mask, too, so we should be ready.
And Aunt Maud, she's cooking up our special Good Luck hot dog casserole today and Georgia peach cobbler.
Do you find it odd that, we're pulling for a National League team?
Well, I'm not pulling for the Astros.
Yeah, that makes sense.
Welcome to Baseball Biz. I'm Mark Harbert, your host, and thank you for joining me again here today. Today we're going to take a look at what happened on the first game of the World Series, being played there in Houston with the Astros facing none other than the Atlanta Braves. Wow, that was some kind of game. And those of you who were at Minute Maid Park there with all of those fans cheering and cheering just to hear them all go silent after the third pitch of the game. Well, we'll talk a little bit about that. Got Coach Cobb joining us here shortly, and we'll take a little bit of a deeper dive into what happened with Game 1 and what we expect to happen for the rest of the series. We'll also talk a little bit about the Silver Slugger Awards that are coming up and who's been nominated. And with that said, let's get going. Let's begin with some of the simple stuff first. For some, it's a kind of a primer for those of you who haven't really looked at the World Series lately. The World Series takes the American League champion and the National League champion, pits them against one another for 7 games. And from there, whoever wins the best of 7 wins the World Series. Now, most of you already know that. But it's interesting, too, trying to find out when and where these games were. I got to tell you, through the championship series, I was going back between, FS1, Fox, TBS, MLB Network. The games seem to be everywhere. Well, it's a little simpler this time out. Those of you who watched the game last night, Game 1, you probably found it on Fox. Good news. All of the games throughout the remainder of all 7 games, if there are 7, will be played, or I should say will be broadcast on Fox. Now, where they will be played is something entirely different. The makeup of this World Series, the first 2 games are going to be held at Houston. Houston will be the home team. Then, games 3, 4, and 5 will be held in Atlanta with the Braves. That's if they need a game 5. If they continue on, then game 6 and 7 would return to Houston. So quickly go down the list here again. Game 2, that's going to be played today, Wednesday, October 27th. Game 3, since that moves to Atlanta, there's a game day off, I should say, Thursday, October 28th. So Friday, Saturday, and Sunday, you can watch the games again on Fox. Let's see, I think they start around 8 o'clock thereabouts, 8:09, 8:15. Usually the pre-show is about a half hour before that. Then on November 1st, they will travel back to Houston if necessary. We'll see if that's necessary or not. I've actually picked the Braves in 5. We'll talk with Coach Cobb in a minute and get his take on what's happening with the World Series as well. At this point, with Game 1 done, the Atlanta Braves beat the Houston Astros in Houston 6-2. For the moment, let's go ahead and see about that Silver Sluggers Award nominations. I'm not going to read you each one of these, but we will kind of go down between American League and National League and the nominees for each position for the Silver Slugger Award. I think what stands out most for me is when I'm looking at the American League and who all is nominated for Silver Slugger, is Toronto is there. I mean, they seem to pop up everywhere. If I look at the nominees for first base, you got Vlad Guerrero Jr. from Toronto. You got Gurriel from Houston, and we know about his brother in Toronto. Matt Olson from Oakland. Then if we go to second base, there's Marcus Semien at the top there from Toronto. Jose Altuve, and others. Again, I'm not going to go down the whole list. Not surprised to see at third base Rafael Devers as a nominee. Shortstop, Correa, no big surprise there. And neither was it for Xander Bogaerts. Outfield, glad to see that Cedric Mullins made there, and Teoscar Hernandez, yet a third Toronto person. And let's see, Aaron Judge was there. Oh, also in the outfield, Lourdes Gurriel Jr. from Toronto. So both the Gurriel boys are there. Is it 4 for Toronto? Let's see. Guerrero? Semien? Oh, I forgot. I knew there was another. Bo Bichette. Flaggerell Jr. at first. Marcus Semien at second. Then third base, we got Bo Bichette. Yet another one. Outfielder, we got Teoscar Hernandez. And then we also have Lourdes Gurriel Jr. Five Toronto players giving representation at the Silver Slugger Awards. I'm not going to go down the rest because I told you I wouldn't, but I will say, for my own personal preference, I do like to point out that Mike Zunino is there with catcher, also with Salvador Perez. And not surprisingly, seeing Shohei Ohtani for the DH. If we go to the National League, which doesn't have a DH, we're going to see whom? Is there a presence there? Say from Atlanta. Okay, from Atlanta, yes. You got Freddie Freeman at first. You got Ozzie Albies at second base. You got Austin Riley at third base. Who else? Oh, outfielder. You got Adam Duvall on this list. So there's probably somebody else I missed in the Silver Slugger Nationals, but it kind of gives you an idea of who's making a difference there. So again, Freddie Freeman, Ozzie Albies, Austin Riley, and I said Adam Duvall as well. Let's go back for a second and look at the American League. Who's there for Houston? Yuli Gurriel Jr., okay, first base. Jose Altuve, second base. Shortstop, Carlos Correa. Outfield, Kyle Tucker. So good representation there, as well as, don't forget designated hitter Alvarez. He's made a big difference, and I think he made more impact than we might guess in this World Series. That being said, let's go ahead now and listen to the interview with Coach Cobb. I apologize. I was having a little trouble with my microphone, but as always, Coach Cobb brings it. I tell you what, it's always a joy and a pleasure to speak with this man, and I hope we have him on future episodes as well. Hey, Coach Cobb, man, last night I saw the game with the Braves starting off the World Series against the Astros. Expectations, well, let's face it, Astros playing home, and I'm listening to a lot of the pundits saying, well, the Astros are going to get it. They're going to take these first two at home, and they're going to get it in 5.
Well, my feelings on Mark, Atlanta came out swinging. They didn't come out there playing timid or nothing. They just came out swinging. If we were to win this game tonight, it would be the same situation that the Dodgers put themselves in.
Well, it was exciting. I mean, you look at this. You and I were talking earlier about who that Braves team is and, who's recognized them. No, I was saying that a lot of these folks are looking at what's happening out there in the Northeast, what's happening out there in the Southwest, California, New York, whatever. But they don't pay close enough attention to teams like the Royals and certainly not the Braves. And the Braves, anybody who looked at the first of this year and said, well, I think the Braves are going to be there, they weren't making judgments on the team that's there now. And
No. It's a completely different team. And it just seems like he's pushed all the right buttons so far, Slugger has. And, you can notice what me and you talked about earlier. They play for each other. They're all about team. They have fun over there. I mean, man, in the first inning last night, they were loose as the goose over there.
It was crazy. They weren't like the Tampa Bay Rays sitting in there eating popcorn in the dugout. But, man, when you bring Soler up there at starting out the game, and there he is, the first two pitches he lets pass and ball, and that third one he decides to go ahead and hit it and knock that thing. Bam, that was amazing.
He's a big man. I know you know that, but, he's 6'5", 230 or something. They can run, and He's going to be around for a long time. They're going to be pretty damn good next year, especially if they get a quarterback. There's going to have to be somebody's not going to play.
Yeah, well, that's going to happen. I mean, there's no way around that. But
No.
I went in that game waiting to see Framber Valdez that I'd seen a few games earlier. I really expected to see this guy task the Braves, but that didn't happen. I mean, he was 2 innings and 5 earned runs.
Yeah, he was out of there. But, when you look at the Braves lineup, Mark, with Albies and Soler, I think Riley's going to be one of the best players in the game in the next few years. He's solid at third. He hits for power. He's hitting for average. I mean, they're a team that people's kind of so short. I got sick of listening the last few days about Houston because they've been there before and got veterans. The same situation when Atlanta played the Dodgers.
Yeah,
he's on Houston now. I mean, it's on them. If they were to lose tonight, then Atlanta's pitching a good pitcher again tonight.
It's going to be exciting. I'm looking forward to see what Max Fried does up there. But looking back, I just did a little measurement here. Looking back just at the last 25 games with the Brewers. Let's see. They've won 20 of those 25 games. That gives them about a 800 winning average. Wow.
Right.
Run differential, about 50 differential over every game. They're a plus. And they didn't actually hit over 500 until like August 7th, Coach. I was like, what? But so that kind of tells you when things turned, when the challenge changed.
Yeah. And let me ask you something. You're a baseball man. You got great knowledge. I kind of thought he might have been a mistake for not leading Rosario off last night. But like you said, it played out. He's pushing all the right buttons. The guy hadn't played, in 2 weeks because he's in a COVID lockdown. But, he leads him off. That's Rosario in front of Adam. He gets 2 more hits. I've never seen nobody hit like he did last week in the playoffs. Rosario.
Rosario and Soler both, just have been outstanding. And you look at somebody who's been with the team, Ozzie Albies, he's part of that as well.
Oh, yeah.
And he brings an excitement to the game. I see him stealing bases. And there's one thing, if you don't know anything else about baseball, watching somebody steal bases is certainly an exciting part of the game because there's a tension. Is it going to be worth it? Is it going to make a difference? And he's been doing pretty well with that.
Yes, he has. And, you got him and Altuve on the other side. They're both 5'7", but they play like they're 6'6".
Yeah, you're right. And Altuve, he's always fun to watch, too, how quick he can be out there in the field. But last night, Charlie Morton gave him a bit of a challenge.
Yes, he did. But you remember this last night. Them 2 plays that Altuve and Albies made when they both went, way to the right, 2 balls and got Freeman, and I can't remember the other guy they got out. But them are major league plays that most guys don't make.
No, I agreed. Absolutely agreed. But it was amazing. And as long as we're talking about Altuve, too, and I was reflecting back about what happened at the plate, Charlie Morton, I love this guy, okay? I was here in Tampa Bay when he was playing as a pitching here, and it was always amazing to watch him. I'd see him, I'd see Glasnow, and then, of course, I saw the catcher we had as well. Here I am looking at Little D, as they called him, Darno.
Yeah.
But watching that combination, and there in the second inning, I'm seeing, I think, Yuli Gurriel hits the ball, and I see it bounce off of Charlie Morton's leg out there pitching. It bounces off him, headed over to first, and it did with such velocity. I thought, hey, Charlie's doing well. He's running over to get the ball. It must have hurt like hell.
Oh, it had to hurt. He went on stayed in there for another inning and a half.
Yeah. Who would have guessed that?
Then you find out he got a broken bone in there.
Jeez, that's commitment. That's the sort of thing that becomes legend, I think, and especially.
Yeah, I agree with you. It's like when what's his name? The guy that pitched for Boston had blood run through his socks.
Oh yeah, I can't. Jeez, Kurt Schilling.
Kurt Schilling. You remember them things if you're a ball player or anybody that follows baseball the rest of your life.
Yeah, there's no doubt. I tell you what, somebody else, I'm going to talk again about an old former Tampa Bay Ray, and that was Jake Odorizzi for the Astros last night, pitching. Man, there he is. I think he pitched 2 1/3 innings and had he did get 1 hit on him, but he had 5 strikeouts. 5 strikeouts. Wow.
I know it.
Yeah.
Yeah.
You know, you can't buy that sort of talent happening up there.
You can't make that kind of stuff up, man. I mean, they're on a roll. They're really believing in their stuff. I know the Astros have some veteran players and a lot of name players, but Atlanta, they're going to bring it every game. They're going to have to beat Atlanta. Atlanta ain't going to give nothing.
Well, I figure the Astros are going to come back very hungry after being defeated 6-2. Looking there at Minute Maid Stadium last night after Soler hit that first solo home run, that place sounded like a graveyard. It was quiet.
Yeah, all that screaming before that, and then you could have heard somebody ask you a question.
Well, it was
exciting. I'm dying to wait till the night, and it'll be bombing down in Atlanta Friday. I got 2 of my friends that are going down there, and I know it's Adam's brothers. His family's going to be down there, but I mean that place will be rocking too Friday night.
And you and I on a past episode talked about another player I want to kind of jump back to, if I may, and that's Adam Duvall. I mean, you and I both are from Louisville, Kentucky area, and Adam, he went to Butler High School in Louisville. Am I correct?
Yeah, that's exactly where you went for a while.
Yeah, I did. I went there 7th, 8th, and 9th grade, and they kicked me out.
Well, you say they kicked you out. Just say you left. And you ended up going to St. X.
That's right. We'll say that. But anyway, yeah, so, I mean, it's always been a very great athletic school. Duvall, man, you know, I was looking at him a little earlier during this postseason, and I wasn't sure that he was really going to live up what he had done to the rest of the year, but he was on fire last night.
Yeah, he's, if you look at him tonight, look how big his arms have gotten when you check him out tonight, his form. And that ball he hit last night, Mark, that thing got out there in a second.
Yeah,
it was an absolute rocket.
Well, I'm glad to see that kind of excitement come to the game.
I'm going to do, I told you, when he gets done with this World Series, I said the playoffs, but when they get done with the World Series, he'll either come home or I'll speak to him. I'm gonna have him contact you and do a show with you on your show one day.
Well, I appreciate that, buddy. I really do.
I think it'd be a good thing. He's so likable of a guy. There ain't nobody can say a bad word about him.
That's all I've heard about him as well, and that's not always the case with some of the players. So I'm.
Oh no, I know that. Yeah, I know. But you know what? Atlanta carries herself pretty dang good. You don't ever see no mouthing going on with the other team. You don't see no, smart aleck hit a home run and flipping their bat, this and that. They just play baseball.
That's it. Yeah, that kind of professional commitment to the game and the friendliness too. I mean, and the cut-ups. I love it when I see the Atlanta Braves, but I see it with a lot of teams too. When you have a guy who's made it to first base and you see a little bit of cutting up, a little cordial nature back and forth between the guy who's on base and the first baseman. But
right.
And I get that kind of feel overall about the Braves, that they're there to play a game and be serious about it, but also they're going to have a little fun, and I don't see a lot of animosity anywhere near there.
No, not at all. And you're like me. I watch everything. Every time the opposing team gets a runner at first, Freeman and whoever the player is at first, they're always smiling and having some nice things to say to each other. You can just read it.
Some rivalries you'll see and you say, man, those people will never talk to one another. Freddie Freeman's a good ambassador of the game.
Yes, 100%.
So what do you think, Coach? What do you think we're going to be seeing here in the rest of the series? How do you think it'll go?
I think Atlanta's going to win it. I picked them to win it before the playoffs even started. I think they're on a roll this year. I think they're destined. I think they have all the pieces. If they all just do their part. I mean, you're going to have each one of them's going to struggle at a certain time, but they're going to be hard to beat now.
Yeah, they are, and I'm one of those people too who didn't see them coming, to the postseason. Me, again, not surprisingly, I saw the Tampa Bay Rays. When I looked to the National League way back at the beginning of the season, I was thinking San Diego Padres. Boy, was I wrong.
Yeah, back at the start, I had the Dodgers of San Diego, but the Dodgers they've got some. Is this just me? I don't know, but looks like to me they have some clubhouse and managerial disputes or something going on.
Yeah, and sometimes I wonder with that team how much is being dictated from the front office, because if you're Dave Roberts, do you actually get to say who's going to be in the lineup today?
Yeah, I thought he made a lot of bad judgments on things during this. I mean, you can always analyze everybody, but they got to make their decisions. But it seemed like everything Snedeker's doing with the Braves is just it's right on. It's working out, like changing that bat on just. He's going to change it again today. Rosario will be leading off tonight.
Wow.
I mean, you go from hitting fifth or sixth, and then the next day you're leading off.
Well, where was Jock Peterson last night? Wasn't he about like seventh on the lineup? That kind of surprised me.
Hell, he was eighth. He batted in front of right after he batted in front of the catcher Candelario and Swanson.
Wow.
And you know that guy, he's a big time hitter too in big situations. That Peterson.
Yeah, I know. I almost expected to see him a little higher up in the lineup, but he was right where he needed to be.
Yeah, it doesn't really hurt them to go through 3 to 8 in their batting order because they can all do something.
Yeah.
And they got that one thing. Albies can bat from both sides, and he's got, he hits decent from both sides, and he can run. I mean, they're pretty damn solid all the way across the board.
Well, I'm looking forward to tonight as well and seeing how that comes to be, and seeing Max Fried face up. I think it's going to be against Urquidy from the Astros.
Yeah.
So it's going to be
and
exciting.
I want to see Friday what happens, Mark, when they don't have that, the hitter. They'll have to set somebody out. I don't know who it'll be, but somebody will set out.
Yeah, that's always a thing. Let me ask you, do you think DH, you think after this next CBA we'll have a designated hitter? It's going to be across both the National.
I think it should definitely be in the game. Don't you agree?
Oh, heck yes. I mean, to me, wholeheartedly. I'm so tired of seeing pitchers go up there. I mean, outside of Shohei Ohtani and maybe a couple others, go up there and just watch.
Yeah, but the average guy, like you're saying, and they try to bunt, hit it up back in the press box, who's announcing the game. I mean, it's a waste of time, some pitchers up there.
Yeah, I agree. So maybe we'll see what happens with the CBA this year. And I'm excited. I'm enjoying this week. I'm enjoying everything about it. And I'm looking forward to a 2022 season actually being here. I'm really hopeful that MLB and the Players Association will be able to hold hands together and figure this stuff out and give us a great season next year. But right now, wow. I'm like you. I'm excited to see what happens Friday as far as the changing, as far as being there in Atlanta. A different crowd. I'd love to see this game done in 5 games. Heck, I'd like to see it done in 4. But I think it's possible to do this in 5.
It might be. I mean, you could be right. If they were to win tonight, well, I mean, you talk about something mounting the pressure or really mounting on the Astros.
Oh, yeah. It's like I said, it's going to be an exciting game tonight and the rest of the season. I'm so thankful, and I'll say it again, I'm so excited to see what the Braves did with their team, bringing in these new guys. They're all making a difference. So,
yeah, that's right.
Exciting times. Anything else you want to leave us with today, Coach?
I'll tell you what, Mark, I would like to say to everybody listening, for what you do and how you cover things and as professional acting as the show is, I really appreciate it. I've got a bunch of my guys here in Louisville that's read that interview me and you had on there, and they punch up stuff that you do now on their phones, and it's a good thing to have. We've got to keep people involved, especially like yourself, the people that listen to the shows, and I really appreciate you and your show.
Well, thank you, sir. It's been a joy having you on there. Coach Cobb, thank you very much for joining us again here on Baseball Biz, and we look forward to picking your brain and season experience as well in the future, my friend.
And we'll talk. I'll either call you call me as it gets closer to the end of the series, and let's make make sure we keep in contact, and God bless you, buddy.
God bless you too.
All right, partner.
All right.
Well, again, a special thank you to Coach Cobb for joining us today here on Baseball Biz. It's always a pleasure and delight to have him here. And I hope you've enjoyed our little review of Game 1 of the World Series 2021. And just remember, you can find us on Baseball Biz at iHeartRadio, Apple Podcasts, Google Podcasts, Stitcher, Spotify. If there's a directory out there, we're there. Also, you can find me, Mark, at The Baseball Biz on Twitter. We look forward to talking with you guys again real soon. Special thanks to XTake RUX for the music rocking forward.